for those that understand where I'm coming from, then I like am making my point, obviously. But I like just am being. I have always had dreams, goals, and the thoughts of what I want to do with my life for the longest time, and I'm making all that happen bit by bit. I ain't in no hurry to get everything on my bucket list done in a short period of time in my life. If I want to get as most of what I can done before the age of 45, then that's my goal right there, is to accomplish with what I believe in. And people just need to believe within themselves.
I hear you, man. Al Bundy was a boss, but
yeah, and
he
never with
wasn't.
their
He was
children.
not. Al Bundy was not as good as you because Al Bundy didn't have any goals.
Okay, guys, it's $20 to get somebody off the panel. Just so you know, it's just a house rule. Let's keep the cussing down. The invite has been dropped. Angus, man, what say you?
Well, I only had one more thing to say before I head out, and that was regarding the merch lingo. Anybody that might have wanted to know where that comes from, I looked up besmirch in the thesaurus, and the synonyms for besmirch are all antonyms to the defining parameters of merching.
Okay, thank you, Soap Club.
So I'm gonna head out.
Take it easy, Cyber.
Let's see.
Y'all have a good day.
Angry Snowman, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I actually watched that video, man. That is something else right there, buddy. That was something else. Watching that dude just haul off and club that lady. You know, me personally, if I was a bystander, I probably wouldn't have got involved either, though. You know what I'm saying? I really wouldn't have. I probably would have turned and walked the other way. You know, because for one, it's not my business. You know what I'm saying? Two, I don't know what the context was beforehand. Three, I don't know whether or not that guy's going to pull a gun on me and try and shoot me. You know what I'm saying? Four, mind your own business. It's not my business. You know what I'm saying? It's just as simple as that. That's why a lot of people end up. That's why a lot of people end up in situations that are unsavory, because they stick their nose where it doesn't belong, trying to be quote unquote the hero or trying to do what they think is morally right. And to a degree, I understand that, but you got to also understand that sometimes you got to check your morals at the door, because you just don't understand what the situation was before you walk through the door. Now, as far as there's some mention about a 14-year-old kid going and getting a gun or something. Is that what that was? Did he end up shooting that guy or something?
Yeah, he shot him twice. He shot him once. Well, there's a lot of discrepancies, Snowman, because like here's what the problem is. For one, and I try to get Chaotic to play this video.
How many times did he shoot him so Snowman can continue?
Okay, well, he shot him twice. He shot him twice in the back.
All right. So the question is was the gun in the vehicle, or did he have to go home and get the gun and come back?
In the vehicle.
He had to go to the vehicle.
It was in the vehicle?
The mom had a CCW.
So this is my take on it. Look, you have a situation where we live in a society now where most men aren't going to get involved in any kind of domestic situation involving another man and a woman for whatever outside reasons. You know, a lot of them have to do with the ones that I already listed. So the next person to step in line would be her son. If that was my mom and she was getting attacked by some man, that's where I would step in. You know, if I felt that I wasn't, physically strong enough, or that my mom's life was being threatened, yeah, I'd go get a gun. But see, I disagree with what Rock said earlier about why does a 14-year-old have access to a gun? The question is why doesn't that 14-year-old have gun safety and gun training? Because that's what it should be. It shouldn't be non-access. That 14-year-old should have gun safety training and proper gun training. That way he knows how to properly handle a gun and use it when it's necessary. Because you know what? I can't count how many different news articles and stories we've heard about where a 13, 14-year-old kid ended up saving everybody in the house because he had proper gun training, proper gun safety, and he was the only one there when the house was getting robbed. And if it wouldn't have been for him actually being the one to step up and take care of the house and be the man of the house, there would be nothing there, and possibly the other kids and people might be dead.
Let me say something.
I agree. Hey, Snowman, I agree.
Let me read this chat right quick. G Firm HT499, thank you. Hamp, love this This Might Be Risky show. Got to let me on the panel and rock with you. Rifleman, go ahead right quick.
All right. There's a couple of, because see, this whole situation is really messed up because a lot of the argument we were having earlier was what constitutes deadly force. People are saying your fists equal deadly force. They don't equal deadly force and all this other stuff. And people weren't listening to me when I was trying to tell them I have a CCW. And like I said, I'm not a lawyer. Anyway, let me keep moving on. The main thing is we don't know if when he got shot the first time in the back inside the store, when he punched her, was he mid-punch the second time? Because he punched her twice, mid-punch the second time, or did he already finish the second punch and get shot in the back? And then when he ran, so like there's a lot that we don't know. And I'm trying to tell people DAs take in the totality of the circumstances and everything. And people are just going off of he punched her twice, so he deserved to get shot and killed. And
I'll
it's just
AFR. I'll say this: if I was a DA, and granted, I'm not a DA nor a lawyer, never been to law school, but just from what I've seen in the context and what I've been listening to in the discussion or on the panel, is the kid was actually defending his mom, and it looks like a self-defense claim. Honestly, it doesn't look like he did it out of malice or out of revenge or anything. He was literally trying to defend his mom and himself. He felt that their welfare and well-being was threatened.
Wait, guys, time. John, please. American Rifleman. John, I'll let you go here. But guys, if we could, please, we've been going back and forth on the legality of this and legality of that. And I don't know how much of us are lawyers and all that stuff. What I would like to focus on, if you don't mind, is just more the morality aspect rather than the legal aspect, because we can debate legalities. But the morality aspect, each one of you has your own sense of morality and your own sense of how things should be. So, John the Baptist, if you don't mind, I'd like to just turn the ship that way. I'll go around, but when you guys saw the video, I want to know what each and every one of you, what was your first thought? And please don't think about what was your first thought. What was your first thought when you saw this? This might be risky, please.
Yes, sir. I mean, me being in a similar situation, I would have said something, but you don't have to attack it like you choosing a side. You could just simply intervene. Yo, y'all straight? It ain't that deep. You talking about get her food? Just chill like that. You'd be surprised how effective that can be in these particular environments. Because I've been in these particular environments often. People just start shooting off to each other. I'm like, yo, it ain't that deep, bro.
So your first thought is to de-escalate.
Yeah, just because I'm already there. Like, so if this is my neighborhood, think about I gotta go there. My children might go there. My wife might go there. So foolishness, like we gotta intervene in some way. We don't have to be super duper aggressive.
Right.
But you could just simply go ahead. My bad.
Your first thought was to de-escalate.
Yeah, just de-escalate. You know what I'm saying? Not choosing a side. No, you know what I mean? But just de-escalate if you can.
American Rifleman, your first thought when you saw all this, what was your first thought? It could be something as odd as, man, she got some nice big ones, or it could be, what was your first?
Woman, shut up. He told you twice. He told you, just get your food. And it's, yeah, so what's his name had it right. The main thing is she had a gun. John the Baptist, she had a gun. She knew she had a gun. She had a son husband. So she didn't have any responsibility to chill out or just say this wasn't important. It's just, I'm going to keep it going. And if he decides to do something to me, I have the ultimate solution. And that's the problem.
Rock, go ahead. Thank you, American Rifleman. Thank you for keeping that concise. Rock, you go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of had the same kind of thought when I first saw it, because I think women need to know their place. They're not as strong as a man, and they shouldn't be sitting up there arguing over a hot dog, especially when the man's threatening physical violence. And also, if you know you have a gun and you're trained to have a CCW, you understand that the first thing of any situation, you do not escalate that situation. Once you escalate that situation and you try not to leave, and you don't leave unless you're in the state of Florida where they have a stand your ground law. Usually everywhere else you're supposed to leave. You're supposed to get out of there. So she should have removed herself from this situation and understood hot dogs aren't worth killing somebody.
John the Baptist, what was your first thought?
My first thought is how much did she hate her son to put her son in that position?
Angry Snowman, you go ahead.
My first thought was, damn, she ate the crap out of that punch. Straight up, she took that thing like a champ. That was honestly my first thought.
So I wrote down, out of the five of you, the three of you said woman shut up, essentially. And Angry Snowman said she took one. Risky, you're interesting. You said de-escalate. That was your first thought. I noticed something here, and I want to say this, and this is why I think men should really be in charge, because we have the ability to see things sequentially and understand how each thing in a sequence of events plays a role. When I listen to the women talk, their thing is defend the woman, defend the woman. It's good that a man defended the woman, without ever looking at how did this thing even arise in the first place. Now, my personal thing is, I grant you, as a man, you got to hold your fist. You can't throw haymakers over words. You can't. But women have an incredible ability, however, women have an incredible ability to turn a man on. They just do. And I think she knew what she was doing on some level. If she did not talk, I'm not quite sure any of this would have gone down, unless the man was just being the aggressor, period.
I can almost promise Bob, if she would have kept her mouth shut and just got her damn glizzy and left, everything would have been, this would have been a totally different scenario. I mean, honestly,
I can imagine.
Most men, look, let's keep it real. Even some of the most violent men don't want to risk going to jail for a domestic violence over a glizzy.
I think
I can imagine that she started from the way the video started. I just know she said something off the wall crazy. He was responding to her.
Well, to a certain degree, I agree with Black God Monolith. I mean, it makes me wonder if they don't already have a past, some kind of relationship with each other, where this is a ongoing encounter, and he just finally had enough.
No, I don't think. I don't think that. If you watch the video, I don't think that's the situation. I think what happened was something happened in that line, and I think she said something, and he responded to what she said.
Yeah,
I don't think they knew each other prior to this encounter.
I don't think so. So,
but why would you want to set your own son up to possibly take the fall for a murder charge if this is just somebody you don't know off the street, just a random individual?
And that's why you do go back and watch the. I know you said you watched the video just now, right? Go back and I think it's 2 or 3 videos that came out. You need to go watch the 2 or 3 of them.
Go ahead, Risky.
Well, no, just
I don't
a question.
Want to be mean or anything, but we can look at history, and ever since women have had the option to vote, the whole country's been going downhill, dude. And I'm not trying to sound a certain way or anything. This is the only thing that I can try to connect what is going on in this country to the problem, and I think it's women voting.
Risky, go ahead.
This issue is not about women voting though. This issue is about
Yes, it is. It is.
Well, no, hold on. You're talking about, you're trying to say this did not cause this today. That's not causation. That causation doesn't even line up to this situation. I would say so. Yeah. Now, what Risky said earlier, I actually said what Risky said earlier about de-escalating. Both, because I said that earlier today. I think both parties should de-escalate it. I agree with that, Risky. They should have done that. Both parties. I think the men should de-escalate it, and I think the woman should de-escalate it. But the woman had no reason to de-escalate because she knew she had a gun.
Well, something that's interesting to note, though, is the fact that, we live in a day and age where most women, they claim to want equality, equity, be on the same playing field, have the same, respect, and be seen the same as a man. But what's interesting is how quickly everything goes back to, traditional values and traditional roles once things start becoming chaotic.
Yeah, we're kind of backing up each other here. We're giving each other fuel for all of us, and it's good. One of the things I've noticed always is that if you watch 2 men fight, each man knows that if they kick another man right between the legs, the fight is over.
That's not always true, Bob. That is not always true.
Well, let me finish the point, though.
Well, for well, at least for
me,
most
men hope.
If you kick another man in the legs, the fight is over. But if you do that, it's a dishonorable act, and men will look and say, you won the fight, but you didn't really win the fight. You lose your honor, even though if you won the fight. And I think with men, there's a sense of almost a natural rule set that we have when we're going to encounter each other. I don't think women have that. I don't think women see that.
Well, it's kind of okay. So if you understand how the world works, men can fight with honor and code and morals because we have physical strength to back it up with. A woman can't fight with morals because she doesn't have physical strength to back, so she has to fight. She has to fight in an immoral way. How's she going to fight fair?
Well, look, I'm going to say something that's a very unpopular statement, and I know most people aren't going to like this or agree with it, and it's probably going to trigger some people. But look, it's like
interesting statement, John. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, John, you make an interesting statement that the party that is not powerful has to act in kind of in a dishonorable way. I would argue, though, that the power that's not powerful has to not engage in fights in the first place.
Correct. That's why it's, since the beginning of time, it's always been an asset for. It's always been a need for a woman to be attached to a man who can fight for her honor and value. He bestows his honor and value upon her because she really can't have it on her own. She can't defend her honor.
Angry Snowman, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, what I'm about to say is going to be an unpopular thing, but look, there's something to be said about the day and age when a woman knew her place and her role, you know, and I mean that in the most respectful way. You know, there's something to be said about, you know, when there was a day and age when if a woman got out of pocket, she gets smacked upside the head by her old man, you know, and I'm not trying to be facetious or be you know, violent or anything, but women have been given, you know, there's this fairy tale, you know, message that's been given to women and that has been sold to boys that you don't put your hands on females. Mm-hmm. Females should be allowed to do whatever they want, basically, without any kind of repercussion, you know, and I think that that's starting to actually become like a cancer inside women's heads to where they think that they can get away with anything and everything and that a man's supposed to just automatically, you know, go to his moral compass and understand that this is a woman in front of him and that he shouldn't come back with any kind of force. The reality of it is people are people, humans are humans. And if someone's going to sit there and keep poking the bear, eventually the bear's going to bite, you know, and we're selling this whole, you know, thing of selling that women should just be able to get away with doing these types of things and not have to fear any possible repercussion is insane, because then that's why we end up with situations like this right here. And that's why they seem so extreme, is because, you know, we live in a culture, like I said, you know, women are princesses, they're queens. They shouldn't, you know, you're a man. If you were really firm in your masculinity, you wouldn't have to put your hands on a woman. We'll say that to the dude that, you know, that was defending himself by a woman that was trying to stab him up. You know, say that to a dude that was trying to defend himself because some woman, you know, was taking a baseball bat to him, you know, or a frying pan. At what point do we sit and say, you know, enough's enough and a man has the right to actually stand up and defend himself?
We got a new person.
Lisa Jean just said violence is certainly not needed. Only a woman can say that, because men understand how the world works, right? If you understand how this world was built and constructed, the society was built and constructed, men had to be violent to make this world safe for you.
I think she's talking about violence in relationships, though.
Okay, even in relationships, okay, we talk about physical violence, or
that's where she's
going.
So
if it's physical violence, I'm sorry, go ahead, Bob.
No, John, I didn't know that you practice Islam on your woman every now and again.
No.
But I know Lisa. I know Lisa very well. She's talking about physical violence.
But Bob, question.
Okay, if it's physical, I don't support physical violence on women, but I'm saying this. I thought she meant there was like, maybe I read that wrong. I thought she meant there was no need for violence, period.
Risky, go ahead.
So just so I'm clear, is it because she should have shut up because she's a woman and she can't beat a man? Or is it because she didn't have a perceived physical advantage? So do men understand that if I don't have a perceived physical advantage, should I shut up too? Is that the logic? So like if it's like, let's say it's Andre the Giant, right? and he yelling at me in the middle of the carry out. Should I shut up? Like, is that how? Like, is that the lot? I'm just trying to understand because
would you shut up,
or would you risk your life against Andre?
Hold on, guys.
Would you shut up, or would you risk your life? Would you risk your health against Andre the Giant? I mean, you're a man. You think logically.
Hold on. Let him get the question out. Go ahead.
Because Angry Snowman just said humans are humans. So I'm just trying to understand, like, how do we communicate this to people, right? So they make a better decision going forward. And Bob, lastly, just a comment. The Bible actually supports what you said, Bob. It literally says if two men are fighting and a woman comes and hits another guy in the nuts, they're supposed to cut her hand off. So
that must be Leviticus or something like that. How do we enforce that? You said, how do we?
Well, yeah, like what's the
teach?
Yeah, like so, like what's the is it like if I perceive somebody have a physical advantage over me, should I shut up too?
I think
that's your risk.
It would be the prudent thing to do, but I also think that well, not these young hoppers now, but generally, I think men who are bigger than other men almost find it dishonorable to pick on a guy that's smaller.
You think so?
Well, with these young hoppers now, I don't know. And when men are trying to compete and get women, yeah, but there's no sense of. I mean, you're gonna beat up a guy that's smaller than you. I mean, what? How does that make you look?
So I don't think let's not even just focus on the size, right? I think what Bob is saying, I think you kind of hinted at this too, was I think men should calculate, no matter how big you are, how small you are, you calculate the risk.
Sure.
So if Risky walks into a room, Risky look like a stocky fella. he don't mean he can fight. But we assume that he can.
Right.
Yeah.
That guy's fast sometimes.
If I look at Bob, Bob doesn't look as stocky as Risky does. Now I may look at the two, and Bob may actually knock me clean out. But it's the risk that we take. We calculate, we move, we make decisions based on what we see. If the risk, we know when to back off because we have experiences. We know what it feels like to get punched in the mouth.
That's true. But so second part, Bob, if you don't mind. Go ahead.
If you can make it quick, I want to get Rifleman in here, and then we got a new person.
Yeah,
here.
Anybody can answer.
Yeah.
So now is the judgment the same if the big guy whoops on a little guy as it is a woman?
No,
it's not. Because it's two men. It's two men.
Okay, and we're not gonna look at it the same because he's a man regardless, right?
Yeah,
it's two men.
No, we still might clown him because he knew he could whoop his butt, and there was, you know what I'm saying. But other than that,
but it's also a risk to look at. It's also the risk to look at can knock him out too.
Yeah. A lot of the time, from my experience, most of the people I've ever fought were bigger than me, and they thought they could pick on me because I was smaller. So just necessarily size doesn't really matter much. It's the dog and it's the fight in the dog, not the dog in the fight.
Rifleman, go ahead. You've been waiting.
Most of the time, if somebody's bigger than you, they're gonna win. And then also, it might sound harsh, but yes, women need to shut the hell up when a man you don't know, if he's acting crazy or if y'all getting some verbal stuff, is you be the bigger person and shut up. You know why? Well, bigger moral or bigger intellectual person. Because more than likely, even if the man isn't bigger than you, his muscle mass is bigger than you, or he has more fighting experience or something to where in Mortal Kombat, he has some innate advantage, not innate advantage, but some big advantage over you because that's just how we are. And you just have to accept biology, women. So nobody's saying, yeah, women, shut your mouth. You know, you should be seen, not heard. And we trying to come back and take our masculine. No, that's stupid as hell. What I'm saying is men are still dangerous. Men are still crazy. And to protect yourself, shut your mouth and don't argue with a random man and walk away. That's it. 9 times out of 10, you gonna be good, girlfriend. Complain about it later, but don't be all up in some dude face saying you're gonna, don't do it, man.
Yeah, let me clarify what I said also. That's exactly what we're saying. We're not saying that from a derogatory term, like women don't deserve a right to speak. We're talking about it from a perspective of this is how men think. So in every situation, you need to assess that situation and figure out how you're going to come out on the other side of it, depending on what choices you make. If you're going to sit up there and talk back to somebody that is arguing over a hot dog, then you're really putting yourself at risk over a hot dog. I mean, come on
now. Point taken. We have a new person on the panel. I don't know, a new person. I don't even know what your name is. Are you a man or woman?
I'm a female. My name is Queen Sunky. How you doing?
Is this 777?
Mrs. Queen Sunkissed. How y'all doing?
Okay. No, this is Sunkissed.
Who's this? Who's Sunkissed? Sunkissed, go ahead.
I just saw y'all talking about this particular subject, and I'm just taking it all in. But I watched the videos, and I feel like he absolutely deserved to lose his life, and that's what was ordained by the Most High, because he had no business putting his hands on that woman like that. That woman was not confrontational with him, and if you go back and look at the video, the point in which he balled up his fist to hit her was when she instructed her son to go back to the car. He thought that she was talking to him. That's when he balled up his fist and pulled it back and told her if she didn't sit up, he was going to knock her out. Also, there is a video that the Chicago Police Department put up. There is no chasing him out of the store and shooting him. So a lot of the news stories are incorrect and wrong. That man was absolutely out of line. And women should not have to feel like they have to shut up to be safe when all she's trying to do is feed her child. That's ridiculous. That she had to go through any of that.
Sunkissed, I have one question for you. How long are your fingernails?
Oh, I don't have fingernails.
Oh, you don't? Okay. What color is your hair?
My hair is black. I'm natural.
Natural black. And you keep it black?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Oh, great. Thank you. Taking. Mr. Putin? God help us. Vladimir Putin, are you there? Okay, guys, last thoughts.
What she said was just.
Wait, why do you have an axe?
Huh?
Why do you have an axe to grind?
I don't have an axe to grind. I don't have an axe to grind, but one thing I'll say is the only reason why I'm having this is actually my training axe I train with. This is actually isn't a real one. It's made by Cold Steel. It's a Chinese one. But anyway, Chinese hatchet. But anyway, I was doing some deadly force scenario stuff earlier to try to educate her brother. He didn't want to listen. But anyway, what she's saying is the reason why we're having these arguments. Okay. Now, like I said, we need to get these statements from the district attorney and say initially like what they've said about this case and go off of that. That's the first thing. So I keep hearing people from the local area debunking the news stories that came out. You know, and I saw a press conference with the district attorney as well, where she was laying out why they arrested the woman. And it wasn't because, it was because they said she texted her and all that. So unless the DA literally said a whole bunch of lies in their press conference, then I don't know what to say about that. So the main thing is she's saying he deserved everything he got and all that. He actually hold on. I'll let you cook. I'll let you cook, sweetheart. Look,
but if you gonna hold on,
hold on. She didn't physically confront him, but she was confronting him with her language. They were both going back and forth with each other, so it wasn't random. That's number one. So she felt the need to go back and forth with a man that literally said, "Get your food, get your food." Now he did misinterpret what she said when she was talking to her son or whatever, but before it got to that, she should have bounced, and that's all I'm gonna say. So he didn't deserve to die. He didn't even do deadly force on her. And plus, how do you explain the 2 holes in his back?
Easy. Her son saw his mama being attacked and he shot him.
So he shot him in the back twice right there, and then he ran out.
I didn't see no run out. That's the thing. If you look at the clip put out by the Chicago Police Department, which was the surveillance that was at the restaurant, there was no man running out. Her and her son left out together, got in the car, and they left. That man did not run out. The news stories are not telling the truth. And there is also other trails that you can follow to verify this information. But honestly, to find out the whole truth, we just gonna have to wait to find out what happens at trial or if they take a plea deal. But I highly doubt anybody's going to jail for murder because that man had absolutely no reason to punch that woman in her face. She was not confrontational with him. She was not in a confrontational stance. Yeah. Her arms were close to her body. She didn't put her fingers in his face. She didn't do any of that. She was simply talking to this man, and this man was very violent toward her. He punched her like she was a man into a corner.
Oh, I got you. But one thing I do have a question. Okay, so he did punch her. Guys. Do you think that constitutes deadly force? So if somebody punches a police officer in the same manner, do they deserve to get shot and killed? Say if a black person attacks a white cop like that, does that black person deserve to be shot and killed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. Sunkiss, thank you very much. Sorry, we're cleaning up here and gonna.
Well, thanks for having me up. Y'all have a good evening.
See ya.
Thank you, Sunkiss. Come back.
Rifleman, you said your piece, man. You got anything else?
Just once again, no. This situation just shows black folks don't have regard for the law. That's it. If they would follow the law, that young man and that woman would be sitting in their house right now. But we have no regard for the law. We have no want to learn. She broke all types of rules, and look where they at right now. Their lives are changed forever.
Point blank. Period. Thank you, brother. Rock, you got anything?
Yeah, man. I think people need to start really thinking about the repercussions of their actions. And a hot dog is not worth a life. No day of the week. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what situation you're in. You shouldn't be risking your life or anyone that you care about life over a hot dog. Get out of line. Go back to the back of the line. This world's so racist already. Why don't you just go with the flow, man? You're going to sit up there and argue with the dude that's threatening you? Be honest. Let's put ourselves in her shoes.
No.
Right?
Rock, we don't have to do that.
I wouldn't deal with that dude. If I really didn't want to have a confrontation, I would have walked away. But that's what women don't do. They don't know how to walk away. They know how to escalate and escalate and escalate because they know everybody's going to be on their side. So they think they can get away with murder.
I'll probably see you tomorrow, man. See you tomorrow, Rock. Snowman.
Hold on. Yeah. Look, man, it's like this. It seems like we have an issue with just people in general. It seems like what I find interesting, and I'm sure you could probably agree with this, Bob. It seems like the folks that are going around that always claim to be the most inclusive and forgiving and understanding and this, that, and the other always somehow seem to be the same ones out causing the most ruckus, the most violence, the most commotion, and the most chaos.
We agree.
Which is an interesting irony, to say the least. Truth be told, I think both parties are at fault for this. Both parties have involvement. Both parties have fault in it. Both parties each one of them could have done something differently to cause it not to escalate to someone losing their life over a glizzy. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. At the end of the day, someone lost their life over a hot dog.
Yep.
Which is crazy. That's absolutely asinine. So all I'm saying is to everyone else out there, maybe think about things before you react with an emotionally, quote unquote moral stance on it. Sometimes the moral stance isn't always the right stance.
Couldn't agree more, man. Thanks, brother. See you around.
Yes, sir.
Angel, go ahead.
Yeah, my final thoughts, and also to what you were asking about people's first thoughts or impressions of when they first saw the video. I was wondering what started it all, and why didn't anyone come in to stop it from getting worse than it did there. And it's like I said earlier, if I would have intervened, there could have been two scenarios. I could have helped prevent the situation, or if I did, and it was a case of where I would be sucker punch, and I would have to defend myself against the person attacking me, I would still be called a villain in any which type of way in today's society. And what the snowman said, he's like completely right. Wasn't worth of that person losing their life over a hot dog or whatever like item that you feel is most comfortable for that you think is a priority. Like I was watching a episode of Customer Wars on A&E just recently, and in the midst of that episode, there was a feud between a cashier and a black chick, and the black chick misunderstood something of what the cashier said and started a feud fight over a donut, and so much so that the customer had tossed the coin tip jar to the side and took a pot of coffee and doused the employee over the counter with it. And imagine if people in that little scene of that episode that I saw had stop things from getting as bad as it did in the same scenario as the Chicago incident. And that person was let's say have some type of weapon that probably would have been more deadlier because of all the people in that video that I saw there. Obviously, I'm annoying you too much there, Bob. It's like you are covering my head as though you can't take much more of me. And I understand you want to silence me all that you can there.
Were you done?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks, buddy. John the Baptist?
Yeah, my final thought is this. I don't feel sorry for the woman. I don't feel sorry for the man. I pray that he was right with his maker before he took his last breath. And I hope that when this woman stands judge in a trial, that she gets what's deserved to her. But what I want to say about this 14-year-old kid, from what I heard so far, that he spent 14 years in Chicago, never got in trouble. It seemed to be a pretty good kid. For all I heard about Chicago, that's amazing for this kid. And I would and so for him to get in trouble in this situation because his mom told him to do something stupid, we have to stop putting our kids in terrible situations as parents. If this kid made it 14 years, was a pretty good kid from what I keep hearing, you now got your son and dealing with the police officers because of something that you decided to do. And this is what's sad to me. Leave our kids alone. Give our kids a chance to succeed without the parents put in a position to lose. That's my final thought.
John, let me just say too, right quick. I swear, you are, man. Man, you throw cold water on a strip club, man. You always have good stuff to say, man. You always make people think. All right.
Cool.
You always take down the fun. I was giving you mess about being the Christian thing only because I know it's deep to you, and I happen to be Catholic myself.
I got you.
I really respect that. I heard your thoughts on Aaron O. They were great, and I'm with you. And I don't. At first, I thought the 14-year-old should have done some time. I'm not so sure now. So. Hearing your pontificate on that in the other show and this show really made me think about that. So it's a pleasure.
Nice talking to you, Bob.
Talk to you, man. And guys, that's it for the Chaotic Truth Live. Thank you, Crazy. That's it for the Chaotic Truth Live. Lots of super chats. Thank you for all that stuff on behalf of Chaotic. Yeah, so that's it. That's all we got. Chaotic is doing a lot of these long streams now, and they're really very, very good. I must say so. But guys, great job to all the mods. Thank you to all the super chat people. I definitely want to thank you. Again, it's been a lively stream. Interesting subject, one that can go on and on and on. So many caveats to it. I think we hit as much as we possibly could. And with that, guys, we're going to sign off. We will see you. Let's see. What's today? Tomorrow's what? Monday? Yeah, so Chaotic should be on tomorrow. Time is moving so fast here. All right. We'll see you guys. All right. Great job. Bye now.